Hello, and welcome to Invitation to Puzzles, where today Tristan seems to have decided that it is the right time for me to try a Nuri-Maze. Now, note, I've never done a Nuri-Maze before, so we're going to read the rules here. We're given a grid divided into tiles. We need to shade some tiles on the board to form a maze. A tile is either completely shaded or unshaded. So the tiles are these pieces. So something like that is either shaded or unshaded. You can see that. A tile containing a clue cannot be shaded. Okay, so that will give us a few things. There can be no 2x2 square that's all shaded or all unshaded. All unshaded cells form an orthogonally contiguous area. Unshaded cells cannot form loops. And there is exactly one path between S and G that doesn't require backtracking. Circles must be part of this path, while triangles must not. Okay, and this is a nickel-y genre. Okay, so I guess the first thing is that we should mark as green all things with clues. To start. Oh, by the way, I should say there's a link in the description if you want to try the puzzle. So I'm going to try it. We'll see if I succeed. I have a bad habit that when doing new genres of puzzle, it quite often happens that I end up recording it more than once. So we'll see. Good luck. As I start, I'll remind myself that circles are part of the path and triangles are not part of the path. I guess I can click lines and then I can actually draw lines. Okay. So first of all, I need to avoid 2x2s. So I see that I can shade a couple of places. Second of all, there's a unique path. And so if this were unshaded, that would give me a path. But that path doesn't pass through all the circles. So that doesn't work. So this cell, in other words, this cell, in other words, is shaded, not unshaded. Okay, what else can I... Oh, okay, so there's a whole bunch of things I can say now that I remember the rules. Okay, this can't be unshaded because the second it's unshaded, that creates a 2x2 that's green. And remember that everything is shaded or unshaded. So that's going to be very helpful because that's going to apply lots of places. Okay, so it's a lot of rules, but maybe I will eventually internalize them. So all of these are shaded. So these have to be unshaded because otherwise we get a 2x2 of shaded, and we're not allowed to have a 2x2 of either. I need to shade this to avoid that 2x2, and I need to shade this to avoid that 2x2. And then I need to unshade this, and now we have to remember that the unshadeds are connected. So we go here and here. By the way, I should say that this puzzle, this is a gap puzzle, one of the daily pencil puzzles that's put out over on the Cracking the Cryptic server. So if you enjoy this, you can go dig this up. Or if you want, you can go on Puzzlink and just go mad and search all the Nuri-Mazes. Okay, so this green thing, this green path, in fact, if you want, I can draw in the path as it currently stands. Well, the path would end if this were shaded, so the path has to continue to here. I know that. So that's unshaded by virtue of that. Okay, so we can do some more shading over down here, because now over down here, that has to be shaded. Oops. Oh. This has to be shaded. I see what I did. I clicked the wrong thing. This has to be shaded, because if it's unshaded, I'd immediately get a 2x2, and likewise that. And now that has to be unshaded for much the same reason. Let's see. This has to be shaded to avoid a 2x2 over here. I really want this to have to be shaded because I want my path to go through this circle and come up here, but I'm not sure that the path can't do something. Oh, maybe if the path did that, it would create a loop in green, and I'm not allowed to have a loop in green. Yeah, okay, yeah, I think that's true. So I think I've convinced myself that once I get to this circle, I know the circle is on the unique path. Okay, well, this is way more complicated than I need to be. Let me back up on that, and let's instead do the circle is on the unique path, right? I'm going to double check that I'm right. Circles are part of the path, right? This circle is part of a path. Therefore, it's a corner, and therefore we know our loop does this, which lets me green both of those and blacken this cell because I can't create a green 2x2, which then lets me extend the loop, which is going to, again, unshade those two. Okay. Now, I know this circle, so I think now maybe this is a little bit easier to see. I'm contending this circle has to go, the path has to go directly from this circle to the G, and that it can't go some other way. And the reason why it can't go some other way is if it goes some other way, then I'm blazing a green path that eventually gets to the G, and in so doing, I have created a loop in green. And the specific rule number 5 here is unshaded cells cannot form loops. So actually, once I see a path in green from a circle, that has to be the only path that I can get to. Okay, and now, similarly, this cell needs to be shaded, because if this cell's unshaded, I would have a different path that landed on G. And that's no good. Can't do that. And so we can do this. I really like this, actually. This is very fun. Okay, so we can do unshaded there. Yeah, if this doesn't... Right. Yeah, so now I actually am obligated to connect this circle to this line, I think for the same reason, that I know this circle in some way or another connects to this circle. But if it did that in two different ways, that is, if this circle connects via a line to this circle in a way that is not just going directly up here, I feel like that's going to cause a problem. But maybe I'm not. I think it's true, but I'm not quite confident enough, and I realize there's lower hanging fruit. And I think a good policy is go for the low hanging fruit first. This is shaded because if it wasn't, then I would have a 2x2, and so this is unshaded, and then by the same token, this is shaded to avoid a 2x2. Okay, so that actually lets us continue both of our lines like that. Okay, so I think this is going to end up here regardless of my my claim. Okay, now I certainly cannot make this cell green. Because if I make this cell green, it opens up a path from G to S that does not visit every circle. So that has to be black. And therefore this comes here. Like that. And now this has to be black, because if it's not, I get a 2x2. This has to be green, because if it's not, I get a 2x2, when we really don't want that kind of 2x2. And so now the line continues here. And so now I can, without making my loop argument... Oh, I mean, I suppose actually here's maybe an even easier way than the way I was going to argue. This can't be green, because if it's green, it just is a loop now. So that's got to be black. And now this continues over down here. I think, by the way, what I said was true. This also has to be black, because otherwise I create a loop in green. Oh yeah, this it's just making sure there was no way I could, without changing what tool I'm on, enter this, because again, this is my first Nuri-Maze, so I don't yet know all of the secrets, I suppose. This has got to be black because otherwise I'd create a 2x2 here, which makes that green to avoid a 2x2 down here. But then remember, green has to connect to its friends. And now I have to ask myself, how is this path? I guess I keep calling it a loop. It's not a loop. It's like a degenerate loop. Or it would be a loop if you just imagine that they connect outside the grid, is how I usually visualize like a path like this, but whatever. Or they connect in a third dimension. There's like a string between them, whatever. Anyway, how is this path getting out of this corner where it is currently jammed by a million bajillion shaded cells? And the answer is that it ultimately has to come through here. If it does not come through this path, that is, if I imagine that instead there's an X here or whatever symbol you want, then now this path is stuck. It can get nowhere. And so it never connects, and that's not going to work. So the reason why that's so helpful, I see, is because it makes that cell green, which makes that cell black, and that now tells me exactly what this path must look like. Namely, it must look like that. Okay. If this cell now is green, that's giving me a path that connects the S and the G that doesn't use all the circles, so I can't do that. We'll switch back. Okay, so now I keep trying to do this, and again, trying to maintain the principle that I should be trying to do this with easier steps rather than harder ones when possible. This path can never turn right now, because if it turns right, it crashes into a dead end. So this path now turns left, which is going to give me another green cell, which is going to give me another black cell because of the avoiding a 2x2. And now this line, if you look, it has to continue here. It can't turn into that dead end, so it has to go here. And so now that is also green. Okay. I know the path is never going to go onto the triangle for what that's worth. It feels to me like I can make an argument that the path can't go this way because I can't imagine that the path goes this way and then has the opportunity to visit this circle and then has to come back and visit this circle. That sounds suspiciously like a loop. Yeah, I guess that's the point, is that, yeah, I think now I have to make the argument from before. Maybe I don't have to. There's probably a lower hanging piece of fruit than this. But now I think I'm prepared to make the argument. These two circles eventually connect to each other. And if they eventually connect via a path that doesn't go like this directly, that path creates a loop of green cells that I'm not allowed to have. Like, imagine it connects over. Oops, sorry, imagine it connects over like this or something. That's just creating a loop of green cells. I'm not allowed to do that. So I do have to do that, which means now my loop cannot come down here, because if my loop comes down here, then it would form a T or die. And we don't want the loop to form a T, and we don't want the loop to die. So this will be unshaded. Now this whole domino is shaded because we've got our 2x2 there, which forces this to connect. I think we could have made the loop argument again if you really like the loop argument. This I need to unshade to avoid a 2x2. This I need to unshade to avoid a 2x2. This I now need to shade to avoid a 2x2. Oh, okay. And now this is interesting, because now this line note down here has to continue. Oh, I see. Okay. So my spidey sense was telling me something was wrong, because I couldn't figure out how I was going to know if this cell was shaded or not. And I was worried that the puzzle, as I was currently seeing it, wasn't unique. Which is not to say that I was worried the setter messed up. I was worried that I had messed up. And so if you ever see that it looks like there's no way to decide which of two solutions is correct, it should raise alarm bells. And so I was like, oh no, I screwed up. But actually the rules do tell me whether this is shaded or not, because if this is not shaded, it creates a loop, which I'm not allowed to do. So this is in fact shaded. Okay. So that's good. The loop can't go up here because if it does, loop. I keep calling it a loop. The line can't go up here because if it does, it visits a triangle, and it's not supposed to visit a triangle. So in fact, it goes this way. Continuing my unshaded stuff up here. Now, my line, again, is not allowed to visit a triangle, so it has to go up, which makes this unshaded. That's now shaded because we have to avoid a 2x2. We line our way up. We unshade this cell. Okay, now I can use either the triangle or the shaded or the loop rule to say this can't be unshaded. If this is unshaded, I get a loop, or if this is unshaded, I could draw a path that goes through the triangle, which I am not allowed to do. And then it is the answer check I see triggers once you have all the shaded cells filled in, but we can go ahead and we can also finish like that, because we know where the loop has to go now. It's all forced from there. And so everything is green. That was lovely. I really enjoyed that, actually. Brand new genre for me, but we might see more. So thank you to... Actually, Tristan didn't tell me who the setter was, so the setter's name is going to flash on screen repeatedly to thank the setter who did this. It was one of the gap setters, but I don't know which one it was. And the puzzle was up with no information. So thank you to the setter. That was wonderful. I really enjoyed that, and I might seek out more of these because this seems fun. It seems a lot like Guide Arrow, which is another genre that I have done some that I've enjoyed. But that is all for today's episode. Come back soon for more Invitation to Puzzles, and we'll see some more cool puzzles. Bye for now.